Good morning, class 8 students. We had studied and completed till yesterday the first chapter, which was matter and its composition, and we had revised that chapter, children. And today we are coming back to the second chapter, which is there in first term examination. And this chapter, the second chapter, is known as the language of chemistry, which is chapter 5. And in this chemistry chapter, children, we will quickly revise what we had studied earlier. First of all, let us see the symbol of the elements. In the symbol of the elements, we see that the symbols, they were used by the Swedish chemist Berzelius. He was the one who gave the symbols. And we see that symbols, they have an importance which is both qualitative, that means it represents the name of the element. For example, let us see here that the symbol C, it represents the name carbon of this element carbon. And in the quantitative significance or importance, we see that it shows that it is one atom of carbon or one atom of the element. And we see that the atomic weight is expressed in atomic mass unit. For carbon, it is 12 parts by the weight of carbon. Carbon has got the atomic mass unit 12. And now, how do we write down the symbols of the elements, children? If you remember, the symbols of the elements can be written as, in some cases, we write the first letter of the name of the element, and it is taken as symbol, and it is written as a capital. Like for carbon, we write capital C. For nitrogen, capital N. For oxygen, capital O. But in other cases, the symbols of the elements have two letters, because the first letter in this is capital and the second letter is small. For example, we write cobalt as capital C and small o, nickel as capital N and small I, calcium as capital C and small a. Then in some other cases, we see the symbols of elements have been derived from the Latin names, children. And what were the Latin names that we had studied before when we studied the fifth chapter? For sodium, the Latin name is natrium, and so the symbol is Na. For potassium, the Latin name is kalium, so the symbol is K. Then for iron, it is ferrum, so the symbol is Fe. For copper, it is cuprum as the Latin name, so the symbol is Cu. Then in silver, it is argentum in Latin, and so the symbol Ag. Then for gold, it is aurum in Latin, it's called aurum, and so the symbol is Au. For mercury, we see the Latin name of the element is hydrargyrum, and so the symbol is Hg. For lead, the Latin name is plumbum, and so the symbol is Pb. Then we see for tin, the Latin name is stannum, and so the symbol is Sn. For tungsten, we see it is wolfram, and the symbol is W. So we see here that the symbols, they are written according to the element that is chosen. Nowadays, we see symbols of elements having atomic number more than 100. And so, 3 letters are there. The first one is capital letter, and the other 2 are small letters. Like for unilbium, we write capital U, N, and B. So, this is how, children, we write the symbols. Then, children, let us revise what is valency. Valency is the combining capacity of an element. What is valency, children? valency is the combining capacity of an element. It is numerically equal to the number of hydrogen atoms that combine with an element. In methane, we see that 4 hydrogen atoms, they combine with carbon. So the valency of carbon here is 4. Whereas we see that in it also numerically, the valency is equal to the number of chlorine atoms that combine with an atom of an element. For example, in magnesium chloride, we see that 2 atoms of chlorine combine with magnesium, so the valency is 2. So it is also equal to double the number of oxygen atoms with which it combines. Now let us see this example here, children. In this particular example, we see in magnesium oxide 1 atom of oxygen. You see here is 1 atom of oxygen. It combines with magnesium, so its valency is double of the number of oxygen atom that combines. Hence it is 2. And the valency of metals and non-metals are like this. What is valency of a metal? Valency of a metal is the number of electrons lost by an atom during the formation of a compound. Example, to complete its octet. For example, the valency of potassium is 1 because this metal potassium, it loses 1 electron. Then the valency of magnesium is 2 because it loses 2 electrons. Likewise, we revise the valency of a non-metal. Valency of a non-metal is the number of electrons gained by an atom of it during the formation of a compound, that is to complete its octet. For example, chlorine is an atom which gains 1 electron to complete its outermost shell. So it has 7 electrons in its outermost shell, and when it gains 1 more electron, this non-metal chlorine, then it makes an ion, a chlorine ion. And then we see valency of sulfur is 2 because sulfur is ready to gain 2 electrons in its outermost shell. Then children, let us quickly see what are monovalent elements. The elements having a valency of 1 are called monovalent elements. Like we saw, sodium and potassium both are able to lose 1 electron, so the valency is 1. Then divalent elements are elements having a valency of 2. These are called divalent. Like oxygen is ready to gain 2 electrons and magnesium is ready to lose 2 electrons. So both have got valency 2. Then in trivalent elements, the elements are having a valency of 3, and these are called as trivalent elements. For example, nitrogen has got a valency 3, phosphorus also has got a valency 3. Then we come to tetravalent elements. The elements having a valency of 4 are called as tetravalent elements. Example, carbon and potassium, they have a valency of 4. So children, we will conclude today's video and the revision here. Please read carefully your book on pages 78, 79 and 80 so that you can revise and learn up till here. And tomorrow we will continue with variable valency. So children, wish you all the best. Have a good day. Thank you.